صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما حتى تنالوا جنة ونعيما صلوا عليه.
With each recitation, you still feel at the heart, it really softens the heart. Almighty has blessed you, Qari Sahib, with a beautiful voice. Brothers and sisters, I would suggest don't go far away. Qari Sahib will be reciting a few naats and hums later, inshallah. To move on, I'd like to call on Qari Musa Sidat to deliver the presidential address.
All those brothers who are in the foyer, please come inside. All the brothers and sisters who are in the foyer, please come inside. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayh wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحج أشهر معلومات فمن فرض فيهن الحج فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج وما تفعلوا من خير يعلمه الله فتزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى واتقون يا أولي الألباب وقال تعالى في مكان آخر إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. Respected Hujjaj Karam, friends, mothers, sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I've been given a task that I'm not fit to do, the presidential address. But before we go further, somebody asked me that, Hajj is in October, but why do you need to have a Hajj awareness program here in March, April? Isn't it so quick? You guys are not even giving us a chance. So we told them that no, what we need to do, because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity and you need to prepare. And you need to prepare properly. So while we were talking, another brother butt in. When you sit on a round table at a wedding and the brother butt in, he says, let me tell you about my auntie. They were going for Hajj and they came to the Hajj program, and then they talked about all like what the doctors said and the head of mission spoke about, and what they said that you must wear comfortable shoes and you must wear this. So he says, my auntie and uncle, they started doing walking like 6-7 months before they're going for Hajj. And my auntie wanted to be comfortable with a high-heeled shoe. Because why? Because her abayas were too long if she wore a flat shoe. Now, look at that. So, the whole idea of having this Hajj awareness program is to now tell you that there are certain things that we need to do. There are certain things we can't do. And this is an experience that we're talking about once in a lifetime. You find we come across many people who come to us and they tell us, Qari Sahib, hey man, I need to go back for Hajj. When you went for Hajj, I went 20 years. But 20 years ago, I can't remember I did this or I did that or I did this because I didn't know. I never read about Hajj. We are very fortunate that we read about Hajj, we learn about Hajj long before we go. Yet, even after doing all that, remember, we had a man who used to write about Hajj. His name was Mullah Ali Qari, the man who wrote a book called Kitabul Hajj. And he was a man who thought the book for years. He knew the book like at the back of his palm. How to make Hajj, how to make Tawaf, how to make Umrah. And he was an authority on Hajj. But when he went himself, when he got to the Kaabatullah and when he got to Hajar Aswad, now he stood there. Instead of going right, he started going left. A young little lad, 17-year and 18-year-old lad, told him, "Yeah, Haji, you want to make tawaf, you don't go to the left, you go to the right." And yet who he was? Mullah Ali Qari. One is we're going to read about Hajj, and one is the actual practicality about Hajj. It's what you're going to see on the visuals here, but what you're going to see in life is different. So respected Hujjaj Ikram, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about Al-Hajj wa Ashurun Ma'lumat. فَمَنْ فَرَضَ فِيهِنَّ الْحَجَّ فَلَا رَفَثَ وَلَا فُسُوقَ وَلَا جِدَالَ فِي الْحَجِّ. That is a lesson we're going to talk about. And what is the best provision that you're going to take for Hajj? All your clothing? All your money? All that you have learned? No. The best provision for Hajj is your piety, is your taqwa. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warns us and tells us, informs us, that when you go for Hajj, you know what the faraiz is. فَمَنْ فَرَضَ فِيهِنَّ الْحَجَّ فَلَا رَفَثَ وَلَا فُسُوقَ وَلَا جِدَالَ فِي الْحَجِّ. And when you go for Hajj, let there be things that you need to put into proper perspective. Let there be things, let there be no wrangling when you go. Let there be no arguments when you go. Let there be no shouting when you go. Let there be no dispute when you go. When you go for this journey, is such a journey that you need to prepare yourself in such a way that you are prepared for this. And all this that we discussed today, what you're going to hear is فَلَا رَفَسَ وَلَا فُسُوقَ وَلَا جِدَالَ. We don't want to get into that. Because why? The bottom line is, this is once in a lifetime opportunity a Haji has. Respected brothers and sisters, let me say, as a South African Hajj and Umrah Council, when you're going to go to the kingdom, you're going to find that we are called the Hajj Mission. Sahuc and the Hajj Mission is the same. In South Africa, we are called the South African Hajj and Umrah Council. In the kingdom, we are called the Hajj Mission. Now what happens? You are the Hajj Mission, but we dealt with Sahuc. Where's Sahuc? Sahuc is the Hajj Mission. So let's clear that. There are some points that we have discussed. The Ministry of Hajj, they do a lot of work. They do a lot of research. They do a lot of work to find out where the problem areas and how can we solve problem of Hujjaj. For a moment, I want you to just sit back and think and just imagine. You got 3 million Hajis that come for Hajj. And 3 million bring one bag, which is a checked-in luggage and one hand luggage. 3 million. Let's forget about the weight. 3 million bags and 3 million handbags that come. On one of the years when we went for the protocol, they gave us the amount of kilos that the Hajis, when the Hajis came into the country, it was an example. For example, it was like about 32 million kilos that they came with. And when they went back, they went with how many hundreds of millions? So now you can imagine the logistics are so great that we need to understand that we are representatives of South Africa. We are going there. How should we go there? How should we behave there? What should we do? For example, I don't like to wear this tag, but I am forced to wear a tag when I go for Hajj. I need to be identified. In 3 million people, you need to be identified from where you come. It's not about where you come from and who you are and what, it's about identification. No, but you know what, I never wore this in my life. Why must I? When we go to hospital for simple procedures and they put a tag, that we like. But yet you pay for it. Yeah, when we pay for a tag and when we give you a tag so that we can identify you by any chance, let me just say, by any chance, like for example, I heard a lot of people, we hear a lot of people when they talk about, you know, in Hajj, how you go missing and all that. Sometimes conveniently a guy goes missing or a woman goes missing conveniently also because she had enough of a husband or wife. But this tag is to get you back to your husband or your wife. So the very same way, sahuc has got an agreement, and some of those agreements are what? They may sound petty, but yet when you are in there in the millions, and if you do it, it's going to be a hindrance. It's going to be a blockage. For example, when you go, you need to adhere by the safety and security regulations of the country. We don't go to that country for anything else. We are there for ibadah. We need to see there's a flow of people, like for example by the Jamarats or by the Haram. We don't just decide to sit down anywhere, take out our bottle of water and start making wudu wherever we decide to make wudu. It cannot happen. You've got to do it in designated areas. And the authorities there, the health authorities are very, very, very strict because they don't want any diseases. They don't want any bugs to be in the air, and you can understand there are 3 million people there. And can you imagine 3 million of them having a bug? How do you control it? We think about ourselves only, but let's think about all of us that are present. The very same way, when you're on the streets, try to be away from the public eye. Stay away. If we are 15 of us met, South Africa, hey bro, how are you? What do we have? Why stand in the middle of the road? Let's go on the side of the road. We can talk on the side, but why must we stand in the middle of the road? These are points that are being put into the protocol for us to discuss. This awareness is to teach one another. This is not to say, hey, Hajis, you going? This is what you need to do. This is how you must do it. No, this is what we need to bring to our awareness. The type of bag we take from here plays a very important role. We take a bag with 32 kilos, and you expect the poor man on the other side. He's a weakling, and now you want that man to pick up the 32 kilos, what you want to break his back? No. That's why international regulation, the airlines will tell you nowadays, they say 23 kilos. When you pack your bag yourself. Just the other day, I was seeing a program, and it talks about immigration. And when you go to customs, they want to know from you, what do you have in your bag? They have already seen your bag. They have checked it through the scanner already, but they're going to ask you, what do you have in there? You need to be aware of what you put in there. You can't say, no, my sister-in-law came, you know, she came all the way from Cape Town and she was so excited, she packed my bag. No, it cannot happen. You the Haji. You need to take your goods. You need to know where your bags are, how they are packed. And this happened. This is not just something that you can just say, it doesn't make a difference, man. Safety, security is nothing, man. I'm going for Hajj. I'm in the path of Allah. Allah will look after me. But you need to fasten the camel. Tawakkal to Allah is there, but we need to fasten the camel. So what I need to say, my brother is already, you know, I'm just starting. We're just starting the lecture on Hajj. I haven't even been anywhere still. And the brother is already telling me, we have identification. We need to talk about our luggage. We need to pack our luggage ourselves. When we go to Makkah and Medina Munawwara, let us not take our dirt that we have dumped on streets. Let us not take it for granted that you've got a parcel you've eaten. Now we sat down, we ate at the KFC, we take all our things, and then while walking, we just leave the parcel on the side like normally people do. This is not acceptable. For example, when we leave Madinatul Munawwara, everybody has this, that you know, I need to go to Masjid Bir Ali, and I must read my 2 rakat salah there. Yes, why not? If Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam have done it, we should do it. As-sunnah is great to us. But when we go there, let us spend the least time, because there are so many other hundreds of thousands of Hajis want to read namaz there. Give everybody a chance. If we open our hearts, and when we go there, it is the mind set that you take from here. That is how Hajj becomes. You find, I have met a couple, and I'm going to finish, brother, in 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Don't worry. Let me say to you, I met a couple. They were easygoing. When they went to the airport, they seen to the other people in the front. They went to Makkah, Medina. When they came back, and I asked them, I sat down with them for an hour and asked them, tell me about your Hajj. He says, you know what a Hajj we had? We had the most superb Hajj. We were not in a hurry to stand in a queue. We had elders, we put them in front. When we got onto the plane, there were elder people, we carried their bags, we took them, we went with them in the plane. Wherever we went, life was so easy, because our intention was that we're going on to this journey, and we're going to help all our Hajis who are going, we're going together. We are all Hajis, no matter from which country they come. For wherever they are, you find a Haji has fell down, you hold that Haji, pick him up. Can I give you some water? They may not understand you, you may not understand them, but that ikram Muslim, what brings us together? Throughout the world, you're going to be the representative, you're going to be the ambassadors of South Africa. This ibadat is such a great ibadat. It happens only on a certain place, it happens at a certain place, and only at a certain time this ibadat takes place. You can't say in December I'm going to make Hajj. It will only happen on the days of Hajj. In Zil Hajj it will happen. And you can imagine that you are the representative of the Muslims of this country of South Africa. So respected brothers, sisters, there's so much to say about Hajj. I can say, but please, like the auntie who started learning about Hajj and she started taking a walk about Hajj, let us be mindful what we're going to wear, what type of clothes we're going to wear. Let us find out. There are officials here who will tell you about the weather. What type of weather we're going to have, what type of clothing should we take. And somebody told me today again, while coming here, they asked me, Qari Sahib, you speaking? I said, yeah, I'm going to say something. He said, you must tell my wife and them, they mustn't do shopping. So I said, bro, let me tell you, the brother is sitting there at the back. I told him, bro, don't put me into trouble. Because why? You can't tell your wife not to do shopping. Now you're telling me. I say to all of you, you are going to the shopping. You can't stop your wife and you can't stop your husband from shopping. But don't forget us here in the front. Do the shopping. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the tawfiq and hidayah. This intention that we are making of going for Hajj, let us prepare for Hajj in such a way, in a positive manner. وَأَنَا بِذَنِّ عَبْدِي. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does with us the way we think. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does with us. And everything happens with us on this journey is the way how we think. How we are. Within us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it such that you will have such a Hajj, such a memorable Hajj, such a memorable Hajj. And don't come back to say, you know what, I bought this watch at a certain Gaza shop. Come back and say, you know, I learned this sunnah of Rasulullah. This is what I learned when I went there. I learned about our Rasul. I learned about Ummahatul Mu'minat. I learned about them. Come back with that memories. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the tawfiq and hidayah to make amal on the Quran. Allah, follow the sunnah of Sayyidina Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa taslim. Wa akhiru dawana alhamdulillahi rabbil
صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما حتى تنالوا جنة ونعيما صلوا عليه